Summary of There by Tommy Orange. As the big Oakland powwow approaches, a diverse but connected group of urban Native Americans living in Oakland get ready for the festivities. They are working through the losses and traumas they've experienced in their own lives, as well as the deeply painful cultural legacy of racism and violence they have inherited. Tony Loneman, a young man who feels lost and insecure because he has fetal alcohol syndrome on his face, plans to rob the powwow with the help of Octavio Gomez, a drug dealer who is the mastermind of the scheme, and Dean Oxendine, who wants to honor the memory of his recently deceased uncle by making a documentary film about the stories of other Native Americans living in Oakland. Opal Viola Victoria Bear Shield, her half-sister Jackie Red Feather, and Jackie's culturally lost grandkids Orville, Lonnie, and Luther are also there. They are all trying to understand each other and the difficult cultural tradition they are a part of. The main stories are intertwined with the stories of many other people whose lives are strangely and amazingly linked to each other. These people often don't realize the strong cultural and family ties that connect them. Soon, the powwow is coming up, and Octavio, Calvin Johnson, Charles Johnson, Carlos, and Tony Loneman are planning how to steal tens of thousands of dollars in cash gifts from it. Octavio hopes that Tony will be blamed for the crime. Calvin, who is on the committee for the powwow, gives the group useful inside information. While trying to stay sober for 11 days, Jackie goes to a professional meeting in Albuquerque and meets up with Harvey, the father of the child she gave up for adoption a long time ago. She agrees to go to the powwow with Harvey. At the same time, Dean Oxendine gets a grant to help fund his project to record the stories of Native Americans living in Oakland. He then starts filming these stories. He joins the powwow group so that he can set up a booth to tell stories at the big event. He is excited to make his Uncle Lucas's dream come true. Orville Red Feather, who is 14 years old, has taught himself native dance by watching YouTube videos after his great-aunt Opal told him he could never learn about Indianing. He is getting ready to compete in a dance competition at the powwow with the help of his brothers Luther and Lonnie, but he also finds out that a lump in his leg seems to be leaking Spider's legs, which is both disturbing and interesting. At the same time, Edwin Black joins the powwow committee after getting a job at the Indian Center. He wants to cut down on his time spent on the internet, learn more about his Native American heritage, and maybe even meet his birth father, Harvey, at the powwow. Another member of the powwow committee, Blue, who was adopted at birth, thinks about how her ex-husband, Paul, abused her and how far she's come as a Native community leader over the years, even though she grew up in a wealthy family and had to deal with cultural isolation. Everyone who goes to the powwow wants a chance to shine, make some money, and meet up with friends and family who live far away or have been away for a long time. Orville joins a group of dancers in a grand entry show. When one of the dancers gives an inspiring speech, it reminds him of the spiritual power of dance and community. After getting fired as a drunken cleaner at the Indian Center, Thomas Frank joins a drumming group led by the kind Bobby Big Medicine as a way to make things right with his past. Harvell is Edwin's birth father, and Blue knows that his friend Jackie is her birth mother, but she's too shy and shocked to say anything. In another part of the world, Tony Loneman puts on traditional clothing and takes a busy BART train to the powwow. For the first time in his life, he feels like he has a purpose, even if it isn't clear. Daniel Gonzalez, Octavio's young cousin, used his 3D printer to make Octavio a few plastic guns, which he then sold to him. Daniel now plans to fly his high-tech drone over the Coliseum and watch the robbery happen. When the theft goes wrong and Carlos tries to take the prize for himself, the other thieves start shooting at each other. As the gunfight gets worse, some innocent powwow-goers are caught in the crossfire. Orville and Edwin are hurt, but with the help of their friends and family, they make it to a nearby hospital. Calvin, Charles, Thomas, Coliseum worker Bill Davis, and Tony Loneman, on the other hand, die in the massacre. Tony is dying on the ground after killing Charles to stop the shooting. He finally feels free from the body cage that had been holding him back for years. He hears birds singing above him as his awareness diminishes.
About the author. Tom Orange was born and raised in Oakland, California, and for many years worked at the Native American Health Center there. He learned how hard it is to find Native American stories, especially ones about people who live in cities, through a project he did with the center. Orange earned from the MFA program at the Institute of American Indian Arts. While working at a used shop outside of Oakland, she fell in love with reading and writing. There, his first book, was the subject of a huge buying war, and it came out to huge praise and awards in 2018. It won the PN/Hemingway Award, the National Books Critics Circle John Leonard Prize, and the Center for Fiction First Novel Prize. Orange works as a teacher at the IAIA MFA and lives in Angels Camp, California, with his wife and son. He is a member of the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes of Oklahoma.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.